I want to talk about how I made passive income while I was here, how I planned ahead so that I didn't have to stress about money. Now, while I was here, my investments, okay, my money is in investments, they were still working for me. I made over $16,000 in passive income. So I got dividends from my ETFs, interest from my high yield savings accounts, profit from my rental property, and I also have payouts from private investments. So think things like mortgage investment corporations and private real estate investment trusts. And if you are wondering how it may seem complicated because you've never done it before, but I promise you it is actually so simple. So the first thing that I did is put my money into dividend paying ETFs. This is like a basket of stocks, okay? A basket of companies. You become a part owner in hundreds or thousands of companies with a single click. And then when those companies make money, they share their profits with you. For the interest income, I put my money into a high yield savings account. So a lot of people, you're making this mistake. You're keeping your savings in your checking account, or a regular schmegular savings account, okay? That's paying you pennies on the dollar. A high yield savings account, the exact same thing as a regular savings account, but it pays you more. Then I have a rental property that pays me a profit even after all of expenses. So things like the mortgage and the property manager. And then I do invest some money into private investments. So these are ones that are not on the regular stock market. They're through an exempt market dealer. Typically these have higher payouts. So instead of getting maybe like a 4% dividend on a public REIT, I'm getting like 6 to 8%, even 10% in some cases, plus appreciation. So basically in plain English, what that means is I get paid out some of their profits, and then also the value of those investments will go up over time. This is not trading, it's not gambling, it's just setting my money up to work so that when I'm not working, I still have money coming in. Now, obviously it took some time to get my passive income up to the point that it is right now, but here's what I'll say to you is if you never start, you will never get here. So if you're like, oh, well, it's just a small dividend, it's only a couple dollars, a couple $100, like it's not going to make a big difference in your life. Remember that everyone starts somewhere, and that if you don't start with the small dividends, you're never going to get the big ones. And another really big reason why I was able to be stress-free on this trip is because I started planning for it a year ago, okay? I had my money, my savings for the trip going into a high yield savings account. I set up monthly automatic transfers into this account, and that way my saving, it happened on autopilot. I didn't have to think about it every month. I wasn't waiting to see, okay, like, do I have any money left over to put away for it? No, the money just went there automatically. I paid my future self first. And this feels so good, okay? What a lot of people don't understand is when you stop living paycheck to paycheck, like I was paycheck to paycheck in my 20s, okay? When you stop living paycheck to paycheck, you don't just buy more things, you buy more time, you buy more freedom, you buy more peace of mind, you buy more happiness. Yes, I'm going to say that. Because anybody who tells me that money doesn't buy happiness is somebody who never actually had to struggle with money. Having money isn't just about having nice things, it's about not having to say no to yourself anymore. So a couple other quick tips. I used my credit card the whole time that I was here, and I think people have the wrong idea about credit cards. A credit card doesn't mean that you are going into debt, that you are going to pay interest. In my regular daily life, I don't use cash. I don't use a debit card. I only use a credit card. I put all my expenses onto it, make cash back, and then just pay it off on time and in full every month. Usually I actually do this about every 2 weeks to keep my credit utilization low. This way my credit score stays high, and then you're literally making money for spending money and no, not paying any interest. Another really big tip for you is that if you are saving for a vacation or a trip or a festival like this, take the amount that you think that you are going to spend and then increase your savings by 10 to 15%. I promise you, always give yourself a buffer. What I found is a lot of times things end up being a little bit more expensive than what you originally planned for. And this way you have additional money in the bank so that you're not going into debt. In worst case, you don't spend the money and now you have more money to spend somewhere else or to do something else with. I don't think anyone in the history of time has ever been mad about having too much money in the bank. If you want to learn more about how money works, how to put together a plan so that you can start actually thriving instead of surviving, because I know y'all are making good money, but you have nothing to show for it. Check out my website. I put a free training together for you guys called How to Get Rich in a Recession. Okay, it's talking about ways to recession-proof your finances, how to spot opportunities in recessions, because we know recessions are some of the biggest transfers of wealth and you want to be on the right side of that. How to start investing and literally so much more. And it's absolutely free. What do you have to lose? Go and grab your spot right now on my website under freebies.